R4 Carrier Strike Group and the U.S. Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group were parked up.
Ford aircraft carrier was there, literally the latest aircraft carrier.
But how exactly the capture and extraction happened? For this, let's look at step 4. Specialized helicopters hovered over, could even lock all the doors. Maduro's shock and awe froze him as Delta Force reached the compound. Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, were physically secured.
That is an experience though. You know, that meme. Open up FBI. This is more than that. There is no open up. It's opened because we're Delta Force. We're not going to ask you. We're not going to warn you. The fuck are you talking about? Ladies and gents, welcome to Suji Reaction. Yeah, I've been watching these videos a lot. I know. But I think there is a new type of era has begun when it comes to warfare and geopolitics. That's why I'm watching this video. Because I don't think this is over. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think this is over. Iran thing is just escalating. So like it will jump from one place to another. Russian tanker was like captured. I think this is escalating. That's why I'm watching videos like this. Now this is a channel called AI Telly. He posted a video literally the same time when USA started to bomb Venezuela. This is a video after that. It has 7.5 million views. And this shows like, you know, like with I'm pretty sure I've watched videos about this, you know, like how attempted assassination of Trump and things like that. I'm pretty sure it's this channel. I could be wrong. I don't know. But he just shows this with like animation and graphs, how it was done. Now, I've seen videos from like Cappy who talks about it, which is an awesome video. But I haven't seen the graph, like how literally they moved from what place to what and how it all went down. This video is going to be awesome. Let's watch this one. Remember people, if you like my reactions like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can really help out this channel and I'll know which type of videos to react to more. And yeah, let's watch this one.
Capture a high-value target when the whole world is watching. You create a masterclass in deception. The CIA set the stage with a single building as bait and filled the sky with 150 aircraft to create a deafening sonic shield for the helicopters to drop Delta forces. F-35s lit up the perimeter, turning night into day. By the time the dust settled, the helicopter...
So it was F-35s that were like, boy, you seeing those bombs going up? That was F-35s.
Had already touched down and Maduro was gone. We'll also look at how the U.S. uses the F-35 jets and its Navy to launch a large-scale attack.
That's
all
what
in
I'm
the video ahead. In the dead of night that is 2 in the morning, the lights went out in Caracas. By 5 a.m., the president of Venezuela was gone. But how U.S. played a deception games. While the whole world were focused on the aircraft carriers in the Caribbean, a shadow war was being fought on the ground. This wasn't an invasion, it was a surgical extraction. We finally have the declassified timeline of how U.S. forces breached the heart of Caracas and extracted Nicolas Maduro. Let's start with step 1. The setup. This didn't happen overnight. For months, the U.S. had been tightening a naval quarantine around Venezuela. The U.S. Gerald R4 Carrier Strike Group and the U.S. Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group were parked off the coast.
Wait a minute. Literally, Ford aircraft carrier was there. Literally the latest aircraft carrier, Ford class, the first one. They put that near Venezuela. That shit alone is overpowered when it comes to Venezuela. Like, you don't need anything else if you have that. But obviously, you have other things. Why would you not use it? But even that, like, damn, all right.
The pretext was clear. The U.S. designated the Venezuelan government a narco-terrorist state, specifically targeting the drugs lords. But while the Navy squeezed the coast, intelligence assets were tracking one man. They waited for a specific window, a moment where Maduro was stationary and vulnerable. Step 2, the strike. It began at exactly 2 in the morning Venezuelan Standard Time. High above, several F-35 stealth fighters punch a hole through the enemy lines, destabilizing their anti-air defenses.
Man, this is so fucking awesome. F-35s that can't be detected by at least S-300. No other S-400, S-500, whatever, pick one. F-35s can't be detected. And even if they can, they don't know where they are. So, not detected, basically. So, they just basically came and took this shit down. You know that Rise of Nations and other Age of Empire type strategy game? You know when you go up our technology, and there's a technology layer where they're like this B-2 stealth bombers are there. You litter your field with SAMs, right? Air defenses. And suddenly you hear like they went up a technology and you know what's coming. You know those stealth B-2 bombers are coming. They will just bomb the shit out of everything. And you're like, you know, like SAM side will just like, you know, look around and do nothing. This is that. They just use F-35, S-300s like, what's happening, what's happening? You're getting blown up. That's what's happening.
Like these Russian S-300 missiles located all over the strategic high-value target. With the skies cleared, the path opens for Delta Force helicopters to fly straight towards the mission. Here comes the deception as the helicopters flew. The jets started firing with more strikes as it hit Fort Tuna, the main military base and command center, and La Carlota Air Base, destabilizing Venezuelan air support. Reports from the ground described widespread explosions and a sudden communications blackout. The chaos wasn't the goal, it was the cover. But how did the raid happen? We have to look at step 3. Under the cover of darkness and chaos, the Tier 1 operators went to work.
Chaos wasn't the goal, but it was an intended effect. A lot of military can show projection of power, but the readiness is what matters. If you suddenly get caught with your pants down, can you function? A lot of militaries would not. So this is why people say like, okay, like China and other countries like a really powerful military, but they are untested. They've never been to war or any kind of combat in that way. Would they work shit like this? If suddenly something happens, would they panic or would they actually function?
But what is the exact unit tasked with the mission? Delta Force, one of the most elite secretive special forces units in the U.S. military. Witnesses in Caracas reported low-flying aircraft skimming the rooftops, flying well below radar coverage. The team breached a secure compound believed to be a safe house within the massive Fort Tuna complex. Resistance from the Venezuelan Presidential Guard was swift but ultimately futile.
Imagine FBI riding with Delta Force. So how long you have been serving? 15 years. What if somebody charges you with a knife? I'll kill him. Delta Force. Like, I get it, like military, army, all that way. Delta Force. That FBI guy was probably like, like inland, right? Like from state to state, running down something here and there, like internal things in America. Now suddenly in Venezuela, capturing the like Maduro with the Delta Force. That shit is something.
Helicopters lay cover fire. The operators moved with surgical speed, landing on multiple points. But how exactly the capture and extraction happened? For this, let's look at step 4. Specialized helicopters hovered over the objective to insert the assault team. While dozens of attack helicopters laid down suppression fire, the Delta Special Forces...
Are those Nighthawks? Because there were Nighthawks involved, Chinooks were involved. I don't think Apache was involved, right? Yeah.
Descended and started the search for the high-value targets. How did they find him? Simple. The CIA had planted spy inside
How'd they find him? They knew where he was. They knew if he was in toilet or not. Come on.
Maduro close circle. While back in the US, Delta Force built an exact replica of his safe house, rehearsing the raid.
Oh my god, okay, I'm pausing too much. But what if the CIA agent is no one but his wife? Oh god. This is America. We don't do shit small. Oh, who's the CIA agent? Is it my like house worker? No, is it my driver? No, it's your wife. There you go. That's why she was distracted.
Blindfolded. While operators breached the room so fast, his security could not even react to the situation as the sound of flash grenades disoriented the security guard. Using blowtorch, they caught him before he could even lock all the doors. Maduro's shock and awe froze him as Delta Force breached the compound. Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, were physically secured.
That is an experience though. That meme. Open up, FBI. This is more than that. There is no open up. It's opened because we're Delta Force. We're not going to ask you. We're not going to warn you. The fuck are you talking about?
This wasn't a negotiation. They were detained and immediately moved to the extraction point. These aircraft are capable of performing urban extractions from buildings and refueling in midair. Within minutes, they were airborne, leaving Venezuelan airspace and heading to a secure floating staging base in the Caribbean. This Operation Southern Spear has changed the geopolitical map of South America overnight. But wait, before after the extractions, there were reports of F-35 jets also leading the tip of the spear for the attack. We'll look how the United States used F-35.
This is for every single person who said F-35 sucks. Really? The modern plane, more modern than F-22? Literally a decade old or something? F-35 sucks? You think like these companies are twiddling their thumbs? They don't know what the fuck they're doing? Really? epitome of technology, American military. They made F-35 and it sucks. Well, there you go. Look at how it's working.
35 jets instead of X-16s for operations in Venezuela, because this is a well-organized and militarized Venezuela has positioned advanced Russian S-300 missile systems, Chinese radar networks, integrated Russian air defenses, and Shahed drones along its borders. This creates a highly lethal and challenging environment that older S-16s would struggle to survive.
That just makes
As
sense.
stated, around 150 aircrafts.
Look, man, in India-Pakistan thing, Chinese radars and Chinese weaponry took out, like Rafales, which are like 4.5 gen, right? So if they can do that, like using F-16 might be questionable. So yeah, you have F-35. You're about to like retire F-35 because you're trying to make more of other ones. The Navy's one and F-47. If this is not the time, which time you're going to use it, right? And F-35 is not some secret. You sell it to other countries. Might as well use them. And they've been using F-35s everywhere. Why not?
And a massive 8 U.S. destroyers were stationed there. It also has 3 amphibious aircraft carrier and surveillance plane to turn it into a massive command and control juggernaut capable of overcoming a modern military's air defenses. Signals a readiness to counter Venezuela's entire air defense network if necessary. But why Venezuela Air Force failed to intercept? As of 2025, Venezuela's fighter jet fleet consists mainly of approximately 21 Sukhoi Su-30 multirole fighters delivered by Russia between 2006 and 2008, which now form the backbone of their combat air power.
But they don't have a backbone then, if that's the case. Look, my Sukhoi 30s are great, right? But, going against F-35, going against all this power, what the fuck are they going to do, right? I bet they just gave up instantly. Yeah, America's here. We were gambling so far. Maduro was like flexing. If Trump had backed down and like come to peace talk or some shit, like it would have been fine if we would have saved face. But no, we flex too much and America's here. Same thing with Pakistan, India. Pakistan was flexing. They thought India's not going to do anything. They bombed the shit out of them, so they had to run. Oh, peace talk. This basically that level. But Trump just went all in and captured him.
Additionally, they maintain about 5 operational S-16 Fighting Falcons from an older batch, including 3 single-seat S-16As and 2 two-seat S-16Vs. These S-16s are aging and suffer from limited maintenance and part support due to U.S. sanctions, although they have been supplemented with Israeli upgrades. Venezuela acquired its S-16 jets from the United States.
Israeli upgrade? Isn't Israel technology your technology somewhat? Did Israel make their own thing? I didn't know that.
States through a foreign military sales agreement called Peace Delta in May 1982, during a period of good diplomatic and military relations. They were the first Latin American country to receive the S-16, with deliveries occurring between 1983 and 1985. The reason the U.S. does not use S-16s in current operations is because these jets lack the stealth capabilities necessary to evade the...
Yeah, but aren't you making F-16 stealthier by applying paint? This was a perfect time to test that. Do we need all the technology or paint is enough against S-300 or shit like that? This would have been, I guess, like you haven't made it yet, but this would have been a perfect opportunity to test it.
The S-300 and other integrated defenses. The advanced S-300V or Anti-2500 systems, supported by dense Chinese and Russian radar, can easily detect and target older aircraft at long ranges. Sending S-16s into such an environment would result in high attrition risks as they are vulnerable to...
Yeah, because S-300 has 300 kilometer range. That's why those are S-300. So they use Chinese radar for long range. It's like a band-aid and supplement. Rather than getting something like S-400 or S-500 with longer ranges and sophisticated radars. How sophisticated? More sophisticated than S-300, let's just say. They just use these Chinese radars basically. But then again, Chinese radars did not do shit in Pakistan. All Indian missiles and cruise missiles just went through. So
radar detection and missile engagement. Not to forget the Russian Buk air defense system that can take out an S-16 with ease.
What?
These are cheap, our 15
that?
or 24 Buk systems are already active and mobile all over the country. Additionally, S-16s
That
are...
is a Buk system, wait a minute. Okay, so S-400 and Buk, if you compare them, Buk is more like a medium range tactical defense against aircraft and drones, and maybe cruise missiles, which are like aircraft in itself. That's how cruise missiles work. But S-400 is supposed to be like broad spectrum, like missiles, ballistic missile, and everything basically you can think of. So S-400 is more sophisticated than Buck, but Buck is slightly modern than S-300. It's a supplemental system that didn't work, because why would it work against America? There you go.
Less effective in contested airspace saturated with drones, especially the Iranian Shahed drones used by Venezuela for reconnaissance and kamikaze strikes. The F-35, however, offers crucial advantages. Its stealth design enables it to fly undetected or with much lower risk, making it effective against advanced surface-to-air missiles and networked radar systems. Its sensor fusion, electronic warfare, and data link capabilities allow it to simultaneously suppress and target mobile and fixed air defense positions, adapting rapidly to counter Russian and Chinese radar configurations.
This is what British must have felt when they invaded India. With swords, spears, and war elephants, and they with fucking guns and shit. Oh, there you go. All right, okay, we'll shoot you from the distance. Oh, shut the fuck up, sit in corner. This is that level of divide. F-35 is insanely powerful compared to all this shit.
While the aircrafts took out the anti-air defenses Venezuelan military as a whole, this allowed the CIA and special forces to advance towards its target. The overwhelming presence of advanced Russian, Chinese, Iranian, and indigenous air defense and drone systems on the Venezuelan border means that the stealth fighter jets or the first wave of attack provide both the survivability and strike capability required for such operations. But how did they rotate clockwise? Well, the distance from Puerto Rico to Venezuela is about 1,300 kilometers. This is roughly 810 miles, which translates to around 1.5 hours of flight time for an F-35 flying at high subsonic speeds. These jets rotated clockwise as its combat radius is approximately 770 miles, meaning it can reach most of Venezuela from Puerto Rico with careful fuel management and limited loitering. To extend mission time and reach deeper inland, air-to-air...
What are we talking about? Isn't there... you just said there was a Ford aircraft carrier there. They could have used it from there, right? They could have flown it from there. They don't need Puerto Rico. Ford carrier was just there.
Refueling tankers deployed strategically in the Caribbean region support these operations. In situations requiring strikes within minutes, U.S. amphibious assault ships equipped with F-35Bs can launch jets rapidly.
These are Marines, right? Yeah, these are Marines. So amphibious, these are Marines. Of all the arms, this is Marine arm. There's a Navy, Air Force, Army, and this is Marine arm, I'm pretty sure. So Bs are for them, for amphibious, because there's not much of runway there.
Such ships positioned in the Caribbean, F-35Bs can reach Venezuelan targets within roughly 15 to 10 minutes, depending on speed and route. Targets typically include narco-traffickers' networks, air defense installations, command centers, and drone facilities, enabling flexible sea-based strike options against both Venezuelan military and criminal infrastructure. In essence, the F-35 deployment by the U.S. near Venezuela redefines military capabilities in the region. It combines stealth, advanced sensors, electronic warfare, and networked operations to overcome sophisticated air defenses and maintain persistent air superiority and rapid strikeability against a broad spectrum of targets in Venezuela. This reflects a strategy that goes beyond counter-narcotics to deter and, if necessary, decisively counter the Venezuelan military threat. We also made a deep dive into the sea, air, and land components of the nuclear triad, so subscribe.
Sometimes it feels like I'm the only one outside of US who knows how powerful US military is, or like to admit it. This doesn't change shit. US could have done this any time in past 15 years. US has been like this for a long time. This doesn't change anything. US has decided to do this. Like, okay, enough of this shit. This is like a UFC fighter constantly going to bar and refraining himself. One day he just like, fuck it, I'm gonna fight, and everybody's knocked out. That's what this is. Even like in 2005, 2006, when F-22 was out, they could have used F-22 back then. They didn't need F-35. If anything, F-22 is more heavyweight, more better in certain way than F-35. F-35 is like more versatile. If you use F-22, like that's like really powerful. From Puerto Rico, there you go. You'll just bomb the shit out of everything. So like, yeah, US can do this many ways, different, like you can just, it's like, oh, it's like buffet. How should I do this? That's what this is. Like I said, they could have just used Ford class carrier and used nothing else. They could have done this easily. Right, well, there you go, how US captured the Venezuelan president in detail with graph by channel AI Telly. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down if you want me to do any specific video. I'm gonna do soon. This is a Iran video I'm gonna do today. There's another video, I think, which is about Russian ship that got captured by a certain channel, which is like really good as far as I know it, like people tell me. So these are 2 videos at least I have planned. So I'll post that after this as well. So tune out for that. And yeah, I'll see you next time.